Stop. Before you scroll past this, I need you to hear something. Two angels didn't just appear near you. They descended. There's a difference. And by the end of this message, you are going to understand exactly why. Here's what's happening right now that you don't know about. I want you to take a breath right now. Just one. Because what I'm about to tell you is not something I say lightly. I've done a lot of these messages. A lot. And there are times when I sit down to record and I feel something in the room with me. Not metaphorically, not as a figure of speech. Something real. Something present. Something that has weight. And today was different. Before I even pressed record, before I even sat down in this chair, I felt them. Two presences. And I want to be careful about how I describe this because I don't want you to dismiss what I'm saying as dramatic or as performance. This is not performance. What I felt were two distinct energies, one on my left side, one slightly behind and to the right. And both of them were pointed at you, not at me, at you. Whoever is watching this right now, wherever you are in the world, whatever time it is, whatever you were doing before this video found you, it found you for a reason. And I need to tell you something about what's been building around your energy lately. Because something is growing, something dark. And these two angels, they didn't just happen to show up. They were sent. There's a difference between an angel that watches over you and an angel that descends to shield you. The ones who watch over you are always there. They observe. They guide. They whisper. But when angels descend, when they physically move toward your reality, when they anchor themselves in your specific space, that means something serious is being directed at you right now. And you need to hear this. You need to understand what it is. And you need to understand why you specifically are the one they chose to protect. Establishing them versus you, the threat, the source, the why. Let me tell you about this dark energy, because it has a source. It didn't come from nowhere. It didn't appear randomly. Dark energy of this kind, the kind that requires angelic intervention, the kind that requires two of them. It always comes from people, specific people, people who made a decision about you at some point. Maybe it was recent. Maybe it was a long time ago. But there are people in your life, or people who were in your life, who looked at you and felt something they couldn't control. And what they felt wasn't love. What they felt was a threat. Not because you did anything wrong. Not because you were unkind or aggressive or gave them any reason to feel that way. But because something in you, your light, your authenticity, the way you carry yourself, the way you see through things, something in you made them feel small. And small people, dangerous small people, don't just walk away. They organize. And I want you to understand what I mean by that. Because when I say organize, I don't necessarily mean they sat down in a room and made a plan with paperwork and a whiteboard. Sometimes it's subtler than that. Sometimes it's a group text, a whispered conversation, a shared look across a room, an agreement made without words that you are the target, and the energy that comes from that kind of agreement, the combined intention of multiple people directing negativity toward one person. That energy is real. Science doesn't fully explain it yet, but every spiritual tradition in human history has a name for it. In some cultures, it's called the evil eye. In others, it's called spiritual attack. In others, it's simply called what happens when enough people wish you harm. And right now, there are people wishing you harm, not out loud, maybe not even consciously, but in the deep, quiet places where their real feelings live, the places they don't show anyone. They are sending something toward you. And here is what I need you to understand about why the angels descended specifically for you. Because not everyone gets this. Not everyone receives this kind of protection. The angels don't descend for people who are spiritually asleep. They don't mobilize like this for people who are ordinary targets. They descend for people whose light is so significant that the forces trying to extinguish it had to work to get close. That's you. The fact that it took dark energy this concentrated to even get near your field tells you everything about how powerful you are. Because weak light doesn't require this much effort to put out. Your light required an organized effort, multiple people, combined intention, sustained over time. And even then, it couldn't reach you without triggering a response from something far greater than all of them combined. Progressive revelations. Who they are, why they came, what they're doing. Let me tell you about these two angels. The first one came for your mind. Because that's the first place dark energy attacks. Not your body, not your circumstances, your mind. It creeps in as a thought that doesn't quite sound like you. A thought that says, maybe they were right about me. Maybe I am too much. Maybe I should have stayed quiet. Maybe this is my fault. Have you had thoughts like that lately? Thoughts that feel like yours but leave you feeling smaller than you were before you thought them? That's not you. That is the fingerprint of the energy that has been directed at you. And this first angel, the one stationed at the gate of your mind, has been working overtime, intercepting, redirecting, dissolving every thought that was sent to destroy your confidence, every whisper designed to make you doubt yourself, every wave of anxiety that seemed to come from nowhere at 2 a.m., at 3 a.m., in the quiet moments when you were alone and the silence got too loud. That wasn't you spiraling. That was an attack. And it was being handled in real time by something you couldn't see, but that has never left your side. The second angel, the second one came for something different. The second one came for your path. Because dark energy doesn't just try to break you mentally. The more sophisticated attacks, the ones that come from people who have been at this a while, they go after your trajectory, your opportunities, your connections, your momentum. You ever felt like something was about to happen and then suddenly it just didn't? A door that seemed open quietly closed. A connection that seemed promising went cold without explanation. A season where no matter what you did, nothing seemed to move forward. I want you to sit with that. Because some of that was interference. Real interference, directed at the specific pathways God had prepared for you. And the second angel has been stationed at those pathways, clearing them, removing what was placed there without your knowledge, restoring what was taken, reopening what was closed. This is happening right now, not eventually, not someday. Right now. As you sit there watching this, things are being cleared on your behalf that you don't even know were blocked. Connections are being restored that you had already given up on. Opportunities are being rerouted back toward you that were deliberately misdirected. and the people who interfered with your path, the ones who made those quiet agreements against you, they are starting to feel something they don't understand, a resistance, like pushing against something that wasn't there before, like the universe itself is pushing back. Because it is, because they pushed first. And when you push against someone who has two angels standing guard over them, you don't just lose. You collapse the very thing you were trying to protect yourself with. God steps in. Cosmic forces amplify. Viewer significance reaches peak. I need to tell you something about why God allowed this, because I know what some of you are thinking. If God is good, if the angels are always watching, why was any of this allowed to happen? Why were you allowed to be targeted? Why were you allowed to feel the weight of it? Why did you have to go through any of this in the first place? I've asked that question myself on your behalf. And what I keep receiving is this: the fire doesn't create the gold. The fire reveals it. What has been directed at you? The dark energy, the attacks, the organized negativity. None of it created your suffering. It revealed your strength. Every time you kept going when the weight was unbearable, that was gold being revealed. Every time you chose not to become what they wanted you to become, bitter, broken, small, that was gold being revealed. Every time you trusted something in you that you couldn't fully explain, that quiet knowing that said, this is not the end, this is not who I am, this is not my story, that was gold being revealed. And God does not send angels to protect ordinary gold. God sends angels to protect the kind of gold that the enemy has specifically targeted, the kind of gold that has a purpose attached to it, a calling, a destiny, a specific assignment that the dark forces understood before you did. They attacked you first because they saw what was coming. They saw who you were becoming. They saw what you were going to do, who you were going to impact, what you were going to build, whose life you were going to change. And they tried to stop it before it started. They failed. Not because you are perfect, not because you never stumbled, not because the attacks didn't land. They failed because you are covered. You have been covered this whole time by something they cannot touch, by something they cannot buy, bribe, or influence, by something that answers to a higher authority than any human agreement or organized darkness. And today, those two angels didn't just descend. They made themselves known to you through this message because you needed to hear it. You needed to know you are not fighting alone. You have never been fighting alone. Not in the nights that felt impossible. Not in the moments of doubt. Not in the seasons where everything seemed to be going backwards. They were there every single time. You just couldn't see them. The viewer reclaims their power. Emotional climax. Unforgettable ending. So here is what I need you to do with everything I've just told you. Not tomorrow. Not after you think about it. Right now. I need you to stop apologizing for taking up space. I need you to stop shrinking yourself to make people comfortable who were never going to celebrate you anyway. I need you to stop waiting for the people who hurt you to finally understand your worth before you start living like you have it. Because here is what the angels showed me about you specifically. You have been in a season of preparation, a long season, maybe longer than felt fair. And in that season, you did something that most people don't do. You didn't just survive. You studied. You learned. You paid attention. You watched how people really operate. You built something on the inside of you that cannot be taken. And that season is ending. I feel this so specifically right now. Something is shifting in your timeline. The energy around you that I can feel even through this recording, it is not the energy of someone who is still in the middle of the battle. It is the energy of someone who just walked through the fire and came out the other side and is standing there looking at their own reflection for the first time in a long time and recognizing who they see. That person looking back at you, that is who God made. Not the version your enemies tried to create. Not the version the dark energy tried to reduce you to. Not the version the quiet agreements tried to leave you as. The original. The real. The one that was there before any of this started. The one that will still be here long after every single one of them has been forgotten. And those two angels standing with you right now, they aren't leaving. They didn't descend temporarily. They didn't come just for this moment. They were assigned to you for what's coming next. Because what's coming next requires protection at a different level. Because what's coming next is bigger than what the dark forces were trying to stop. They weren't trying to stop your past. They were trying to stop your future. And they couldn't. So walk differently today. Not with arrogance. Not with revenge in your heart. Not trying to make anyone see what they missed when they missed you. Walk with the quiet certainty of someone who knows they are covered. Walk like someone whose name is spoken in rooms they haven't entered yet. Walk like someone whose next chapter has already been written by something greater than human intention. Because you are that person. You've always been that person. The dark energy knew it. That's why it came for you. The angels know it. That's why they descended. And now you know it too. Don't let anyone take that from you again. Love you. Take care of yourself. And remember, you are not walking alone. You never have been.